Well, today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter, or depending on what content I got for you guys. So today we got two events by Gatoh Move Pro Wrestling back to back from Saturday and Sunday. But also, I want to save this one for last, the Hana Kimura Memorial MATANE show, which was a beautiful tribute to Hana Kimura, who sadly took her own life last year after being cyberbullied. But the event was great, organized, fantastic by her mother, Kyoko Kimura. But there were a lot of good surprises that happened, but of course, some great tributes in her memory. So, enough of that. So, let's get started with another episode of the Leaded Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome to the Leaded Wrestle Zone. All things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So let's start with Gatoh Move Pro Wrestling. They have two back-to-back event shows from Saturday and Sunday on the 22nd of May and the 23rd. So let's go with the 22nd. First match we have Saruyi and Mei Saruga teaming up, taking on Tsukiyama and Ayano Aire. This is I don't know if this is the first time if Mei and Saruyi actually teamed up, because mostly I've seen Mei either doing singles competition or with her one half of the Best Bros and tag champion Balianaki. But it was a good event. Of course, if you guys must know, Mei Shiruga has a new mean streak. Basically, she would do anything to win, or has an act. But it was a pretty good event. Even Waka tries to find a way to cheat by using her little pitchfork. If you guys ever seen her, she comes out with the devil horns and a pitchfork that comes like she came out of hell. But it didn't work. Even Mei Shiruga was trying to use it, but it did not work either. But if you can guess right away, Mei Shiruga won the match by submitting, or no, by pinning, of course, Ayano. It was very interesting match. I have to say, I do like mostly seeing May being with Valiant because they're very high intensity team. But seeing her with a team with someone, that's a different story. But it did work for her. Next match we have Che Koshikawa teaming with Sayaka, taking on Pencil Army's Lulu Pencil and Emi Sakura, or as we know her, Emi Pencil. So it started out with a very interesting match where before the bell rang, both Lulu and Emmy, they were giving each other chops to the chest. You're probably saying in the back of your head, why would they do that? Simple. They get themselves fired up because, as you know, they have been on a losing streak from time to time. And not only that, they actually had Chris Brooks, who decided to quit on them after having a very bad loss that they had in a 8-man tag team match where they involved themselves against the Egg Tarts, consistent of Shay and Shino, and of course the Best Bros. But the match was pretty fun. To be honest with you, I was a bit biased because I didn't try to see who had the advantage in this one. But it was a very high intensity. There were some good moments, but I did not. I'm just gonna say who won this one. It's gonna be Che Koshikawa and of course Sayaka. I didn't expect them to win because I was biased. I didn't know how this was gonna end, but it was okay because I know Che and Sayaka have lost many matches, but having them team up was all right. So I'm cool with that. But the main event was awesome. It was Tikiko Kirihara taking on the other half of the Best Bros, Balianaki. Oh man, this match was off the hook, to be honest with you guys, because it was so high energy with Balianaki, who was determined to win at any cost. I mean, he did not cheat, but he would put every ounce of energy, like using the wall or jumping off the window, try to win. But the way he won, he actually did it with, of course, submitting um, Kiyahara. It was like, okay, that works. At least Balinaki was able to pull it off by submitting Kiyahara and allowing himself to win. So he won his match. Now let's move on with the next day, the 23rd of May. It was only 2 matches they had. Both of them were tag team matches. First match we have Chei Koishikawa and Yaka Tsukiyama taking on Ayano Ire and Saki. Now, Saki recently won a title in a previous promotion. It was pretty cool. Um, Basically, there was more aggression coming from Saki. Uh, she was more of the determined to win the match, and that's what I have noticed. But Che and Wakashi, they tried everything possible to counter every move they can, but apparently, nope. Saki was able to counter everything they were throwing at them, but it did not work. It was Saki who picked up the victory for her team. Now, the final match was Pencil Army, Lulu Pencil, and Emi Sakura taking on the Best Bros. I love them. They're so cool. But one thing I have noticed in this particular match, Mei Shiruga now, his mean streak is now becoming very, very noticeable. She seems like the happiest girl ever, but now she goes all pissed off mode. So, but she did exploit Emi Sakura's injury. She did injure herself not too long ago and used that against her. Now, Emi Sakura knew she was going to get targeted for that because Mei Shiruga taught her to be that way. And Mei was under the direction of, and I think she still is. But of course, you can guess the Best Bros continue to impress me as always with their ways being a tag team, especially when it comes intergender. But it was good. I love it. I love the Best Bros, and of course, it was them who won this match in particular. So I think that's it right now with Gatoh Move Pro Wrestling. There is more Gatoh Move coming up on this coming Tuesday, and also Thursday. So there'll be more to come. I'll be covering those when that day happens. But for right now, let's move on with the Hana Kimura Memorial MATANE show. Okay, the last thing I want to review is the Hana Kimura Memorial MATANE show, which is a great tribute to the late Hana Kimura, who sadly took her life last year after being cyberbullied by a bunch of punks who had a problem with her because of that reality TV show, Terrence House. But I have to say, her mother did a fantastic job organizing this event in memory of her daughter. They showed the various ring gear that she used over the years on display and all that. I thought was pretty nice. But in the ring, they had her favorite DJ named DJ Yamamura, who turned out to be a former wrestler coming out of Dragon Gate his own right. It was revealed that, of course, DJ Yamamura is her favorite, and I don't know how long he's been on in the ring DJing, but it was pretty cool. I mean, I'm not too bothered by it, but if there's a lot of things you guys may not like, please understand this is the life of and memory of Hana Kimura. If there was something she liked, why not? I'm okay with that. And then, of course, we have Jungle Kiona, who we haven't seen in months in Stardom because she had multiple injuries, but she had multiple successful surgeries, and she's currently on recovery. Now, you probably ask yourselves, why is Jungle Kiona in this? There's a reason why. Before Hana Kimura passed, she was the leader of a faction known as Tokyo Cyber Squad, and Jungle Kiona was part of that faction. And of course, she came out to pay her respect and honor of her friend and, of course, stablemate. And I thought it was pretty nice to see her being there for her, and that was pretty cool. But later we had this idol group called Ilk Park performing a dance number that originally was from another idol group that Hana Kimura was in fact involved, called Awanika. And I didn't know that Hana Kimura was an idol. Now, if you guys don't know what that means, an idol, that means that it's like a, think of it as a pop group or something, coming similar like the Backstreet Boys, the Spice Girls, or that sort of thing. But I was like, wow, I'm learning new things about her every day. I mean, this is stuff that I didn't even know she was involved in. I mean, you'd be surprised about people that you think you know everything about just by reading the internet. But when it comes to things like this, it opens your eyes to a whole different lifestyle you didn't know about Hana especially. But later they throw in this little clip of Hana wearing a Ribera jacket at Wrestle One. Now, if you guys don't know what's Ribera, this is like a steakhouse joint out in Japan. They had famous wrestlers that go there. You know, Cody has been there. Many famous wrestlers gone to this place, and Hana was wearing that jacket. I'm like, nice. But I did not know that she was in Wrestle One because I didn't realize it. But it did reveal that she was trained in Wrestle One by Keiji Muto. I was like, I like that. The man, the myth, the legend, Keiji Muto, better known as the Great Muta. Now, the first match, we have a six-man tag team match. We have Shota, Fuma, and Mil Mongoose taking on Hub, Shisao, and SIA. Now, it did told by the commentary. Now, the commentary group is none other than world famous CB, or as we know him, Cheeseburger, and Ian Riccaboni of Ring of Honor. Now, you probably ask yourselves, why are they doing the English commentary? Well, there's a reason. CB actually was good friends with Hana Kimura, and what better way for him to be part of it? And Ian Riccaboni, we all know he's a great commentator, but it had to be. But what they did reveal about one of these wrestlers, Hub, he was in fact one of Hana Kimura's favorites. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. But once he mentioned that name, I was like thinking in the back of my head, okay, what do I get the feeling this guy's gonna win? Because A, he is Hana Kimura's favorite, and two, why not? Besides, this was organized by Kyoto Kimura, her mother. But it was a fun match. But I did not notice. I have noticed this wrestler named Shota in the past. I've seen him with DDT, and turns out his favorite wrestler is Eddie Guerrero, and he dressed up like him. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But you probably ask yourselves, why did they bring in male wrestlers? It's simple. These are people who are paying their respects to Hana Kimura, and these are wrestlers that came from different promotions. Shota is from DDT. I don't know about the others, but it's great to know that here's the wrestling community in Japan are coming together to pay tribute to this person. And of course, that's so good. And I did like how when the match was won, because I figured it was going to be Hub who was going to pick up the victory for the team, everybody got on the same page and shake hands. And of course, they raised their hands, doing this in respect of Hana Kimura. Now, the next match took forever. This one was a battle royal. They had various wrestlers, not only just the women, but also the men. But at some point, there was a lot of wrestlers coming in as special guests. Here are the ones who you may know. Jun Kasai, very uh, a very interesting death match wrestler who's been with various groups, has been freelance everywhere. Masato Tanaka, Shinu Sanaka, and of course Shima. These guys that showed up. There was a lot of chaos in the entire match. Like, you didn't expect a whole lot. But I'll tell you who won. It was this girl named Kaicho, who I have seen before with Ice Ribbon on many occasions. But she's also part of the promotion known as Triple Six, which is another hardcore wrestling promotion. But I was okay with Ram winning because when I first saw her, I thought, she has a great attitude. As a in-ring performer, being like, I don't give the F type of person. But she does flip people off. That's what she does. especially with her opponents. So it was a good match, but I did enjoy it. Now the next match is an interesting 8-woman tag team match. First team, we got Mio Momono, Natsupoi, and Suri from Stardom, who are in fact part of Donna Demondo, or DDM as we call them, and of course, last member, Asuka, or as we know her in AEW, Veni, taking on a very interesting duo. We got Def Yamasan, Konomi, Hazuki, and Kagetsu. Now, you probably ask me, why is this interesting? It's the second team. Def Yamasan and Konomi were once members of Tokyo Cyber Squad, until Konomi turned her back on them and joined Odetai. Hazuki and Ketseku were part of the early days of the Odetai. Nothing compare what we have with the Odetai of today. But here's the interesting thing. Hazuki retired in 2019. As for Kagetsu, she retired last year. She did announce her retirement late 2019, and now they're here for a one night only to pay homage and tribute and pay their respects to their friend. And I thought it was pretty cool. I enjoyed. But much of the match, there was a lot of good spots. Koyoko Kinemura was helping um, um, Cyber TCS and of course Odetai. But you probably ask yourself why. Well, Kyoko was one of the original leaders of Odetai along with her daughter. And of course we had Kiona, who was part of the Tokyo Cyber Squad. And it was a pretty good match. Great great spots. But however, the match ended when Asuka picked up the victory for her team. But however, the person she pinned was Kagetsu, and it appears that she wants to have. She was requesting for a special bonus match. This one was against her and Kagetsu, and I think it was a fantastic way to end the event. Reasons I say this is because you don't know what to expect when it comes to this type of matches. But it was brilliant. I love how some great moments. I mean, you can't say, but Kagetsu's retired. This is a one-time thing. But there's the old saying, never say never. We don't know if she'll be back, but the door will always be open for her if she decides to come back. But however, I was kind of hoping Kagetsu was going to win, but in fact, it was Asuka who won. I know she has been making great headways in the wrestling world in Japan. But yeah, so it was a fun match. And as soon as the match was over, thanks to Asuka, they brought upon Koyoko Kimura, who brought a portrait of her daughter, Hana, and I thought it was a very emotional moment. And they throw on a very special video of Hana Kimura starting when she was a baby all the way to the time she became a top star in the wrestling world in Japan. And that was pretty cool to see that we get to see her life. And there was a moment she was scared when her mom was involved in one of those hardcore matches, you know. But it was really nice to see that. But it didn't end there. Tajiri made uh, a video where he talks about how he knew Hana as a child, growing up in the wrestling world. I didn't even know he knew her that well, but it was great. But the best part is there's a reason why the show is called the Hana Kimura Matane Show. In translation, in matane, which means in English, see you later, which is something that Hana Kimura will tell to her friends and colleagues when says goodbye to them, like saying, I'll see you later. Something we normally say too. And there was like a very interesting video where a lot of wrestlers were in fact saying the same word, matane. But here are the ones who I do recognize is we have Kaori Yonayama, who we know her as Kokigen Def Yamasan, and Fukugi Def, Layla Hirsch, Holodead, then Shuko Dino from DDT, Yukio Sakaguchi from DDT, La Mera Mera Thunder Rosa, Kai from RED, Keno from Pro Wrestling Noah. Who else I got? Ram Kaicho, Hikaru Shida, Masato Tanaka, B Priestley, Yuji Ino from DDT, Kyoko Inoue, who's the founder of World Woman Pro Wrestling, Diana, Session Mouth Martina, Sanshiro Tagagi from DDT, Yoshinari Ogawa from Pro Wrestling Noah and leader of Stinger, Shima, the Great Sasuke, Jun Kasai, Kenny Omega, Zaya Brookside, Meiko Satomura, Jiro Kuri Choi, or as we know him in WWE, Hikime Jiro, Keiji Muto, Jaguar um, Yokota from Diana, Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, um, Suri, or as we know her, Saray, the latest addition in NXT, Chris Wolf, Kagetsu, Asuka, aka Veni, and of course her mother, Koyoko Kimura. And I literally cried in the entire thing. But I'm going to say what Jericho said in the Brody Lee tribute. It's okay to cry, damn it. Now, you probably can say this to me right now if you comment down saying, I like the Brody King tribute. No, no, no. Do not compare both shows. They're both special in every way. Brody, we all know the kind of person he is. In the ring, he's a great performer. Outside of outside the ring, he was an amazing human being. It's the same thing with Hana Kimura. But both were incredible people. That's from what I can understand. Many wrestlers who, especially the foreign wrestlers who knew her, saying that when you see her smile, when you bump into her, you know she'll bright up the mood. That's who she is, and that's why when I heard about Hana Kimura, I didn't know much about her until I learned about her passing, and then the more I learned about her, it was like wow. But it was a great show. Now, you probably asked me, how can I see this, J-Rod? How? I mentioned this before previously. You can go to Fight TV. It's only $14.99 to pay. If you don't have Fight TV, set up an account. You can use the Google or the Facebook to stay connected. But yes, so you guys can still watch it. It's really fun to watch. So check it out. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, me reviewing two back-to-back events from Gatoh Move, but also the Hana Kimura Memorial MATANE show. Really great stuff you guys should check out if you get the chance. But the next thing I will review is the upcoming New Japan stuff that just came out, the Road to Wrestle Grand Slam, and of course Elevation. But I'll throw in maybe the occasional one or two uh, promotion from Japan, maybe considering the Stardom event. But I'll let you guys know when that happens. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, the same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang!